Hi guys, Jonny Goode for studio.I. Welcome to another part of my series working with limitations. Today I'm looking at the low end, the kick and the bass, and that can be so problematic in a home studio. Now I use these PreSonus Eris 4.5 monitors. I've spoken about these quite a lot. On the back of this Eris series they have what PreSonus call an acoustic space switch, so you can take the low end down by increments of 2 decibels, down 2 dB or 4 dB, and PreSonus recommend using that for, firstly, if you're against a wall, and then the more extreme 4 dB if you're against a wall and in a corner like I am. Now I kind of disregarded that, and I felt that just taking it down by 2 dB was enough for me over the last, say, 6 months. And then sort of coming into this year, a good friend of mine who I often send mixes to, really trusts his ears and his setup, was kind of sort of mentioned to me maybe my mixes were lacking a little bit in that low end, and maybe I was hearing a bit too much bass in my monitoring and thusly compensating for that, so my mixes are coming through a little bit thin in the low end. I kind of put it at the back of my mind, didn't do much more about it, but just kind of had it there to see how that would pan out as I listened to mix work that I'd done moving into the new year. And then about 3 or 4 weeks ago I was really kindly invited by the studio owner Simon at the Motherlode Studios right over in Welney in West Norfolk to go and check out the studio, meet the guys there and have a chat. And he kindly opened up one of my mixes and we had a talk and a listen about it, and lo and behold, what did we find? That it was just lacking a little bit in the low end when we were kind of A-Bing it against some other tracks. Everything else was sitting really nicely, it was just that problematic low end. So Simon there just kind of ramped up the low end by about 2 dB and everything seemed to sit into place. So that was an important figure, that it was about 2 decibels, exactly the figure which I would have been rolling off using this acoustic space switch. So then when I came back into my home studio, the first thing I thought of was, let's do what PreSonus recommended. Let's use my acoustic space switch to take me down by 4 decibels, because I am against a wall and I am in a corner, and that should compensate for that 2 decibels which I'm kind of lacking in my mixes. Lo and behold, I've done about 2 or 3 mixes since then, and been checking with a couple of trusted friends and been taking around some different systems, and it certainly seems to have made the difference, and really made the difference to my monitoring as well. So I kind of just wanted to mention that most home studio monitors I would imagine have similar kind of tuning that you can do, but certainly on these PreSonus ones they seem pretty accurate. Again, I think they're fantastic monitors. So that was just singing the praises a little bit of the Eris, my experiences that I had over the last sort of 3 or 4 weeks. Now the second thing is this absolutely fantastic kind of hack, I suppose, for getting your kick and bass relative, and it also helps with regards to what I've just talked about, monitor tuning in your own home studio. Now I watched an interview with Jacquire King with Graham Cochran. Graham Cochran was interviewing Jacquire King, I should say, for his brilliant channel Recording Revolution, and Jacquire was talking about this excellent, so I mentioned this excellent tip for getting your kick and bass relative when you're mixing. Now I'm going to put a link up above so you can go to the whole interview, and it's, I think, about half an hour of the way through, and he speaks at quite a lot of depth as to why this method works. But I'm just going to give you the sort of facts and the figures, the quick fix on how to kind of apply this when you're first setting up your mix, and it'll help you get your gain staging right, and it'll help you get your relationship between the kick and bass right, as well as let you know if there are any major problems in the room when you're monitoring. So what he suggested was bringing up a VU meter and setting that VU meter at -18 when it hits 0. I'm going to show you all this in a minute in the box. And then bringing the kick drum into the mix, so it peaks up on the VU meter at -3. And then when he brought the bass in, then you want to be looking at that needles then coming up to 0, and that would represent a good relationship between the kick and the bass. Why this is also really handy is it gets you in the ballpark straight away. It gets the gain staging. It's a really great place to start for your gain staging. But it gets your kick and bass relative to each other. You know they're going to be in the ballpark together. And also if you then come out and you listen on your monitors and the bass sounds really, really loud to you, you know you're going to maybe have some discrepancies there in your monitoring. But as I say, if that sounds confusing, let's go in the box and I'll go through it with you. Okay, so up on the screen here you can see my volume unit meter, my VU meter from Klanghelm. This is priced at €8, so around £5. On the bottom right hand corner here of the plugin you can see I've set the reference to -18. You can take that as low as down to -24, up as far as +6. But for the purposes of this, as mentioned in that interview on the video, we're going to put it at -18. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is bring in the kick. What we want is the kick to be peaking at -3. So let's just bring that up into our mix. Okay, so that's looking about right. You can see kicking in at -3. So now we're going to bring the bass in, and what we want to see now is the level with the kick and the bass now peaking and kicking in at 0. So let's bring the bass into the mix. Around there. Tiny bit more. There we go. Some of the peaks are now hitting at 0 there around. So that's the principle. And what I found, as I say, over the last 2 or 3 mixes, it works really, really well. It gives me a lot of confidence to know that the kick and the bass are sitting relative to each other in the ballpark sonically. And as I say, it's also a really good way to check if you say come off your headphones and then check on your monitors and their bass is sounding way louder, then that may well suggest you've got a bit of an issue with your monitoring. So it's a really, really good rule of thumb method, I think, and it's particularly potent in a home studio where rooms can get a bit funky. So I hope you found that really useful. I know I certainly did when I watched the video. As I say, the link for the interview, I should say, the link for that is going to be below this. There should have been a couple of pop-ups, some YouTube cards come up with the link for that interview with Jacquire King on recordingrevolution.com also. I hope you're enjoying my videos on YouTube. Please subscribe to my channel or go and check out my website realhomestudio.com for some more information. You can subscribe up there so you never miss a post, and also receive my free ebook, The Virtual Console. I hope you found that interesting, and happy recording. Have yourself a great day.